Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Gooner Gathering. My name is Gooner Lee Meads, Lee Meadows. Tonight, I thought I'd give my thoughts on the potential team news prior to tomorrow evening's game at home to Bournemouth. Another home game we have as we try and get back some momentum after PSG. I would suggest knock the stuffing out of us the other night in the Champions League. How do Arsenal respond to a Champions League defeat in the semi-final first leg? Well, we've got to play Bournemouth, a game we've previously had difficulty in. Of course, we all remember that tie where we go 2-0 down to win 3-2 right at the end a couple of years ago now, don't we? But what my thoughts are before we will get into what Mikel Arteta said in the press conference today. Well, we remember back to Tuesday, Julian Timber went off. It looked like he was struggling for a bit of that second half before he went off on the 83rd minute for Ben White. I would imagine there's no need to risk him. Of course, we all know the situation in the league. As I said with Nathan when we did the in-person interview the other day, second place isn't sewn in yet, but I don't see a problem putting White in at right back. I wouldn't mind changing Lewis Skelly as well, just to keep him fresh for Wednesday night in Paris. I would imagine the centre backs stay the same. So Kivior Saliba, no issues there. One change I think probably is necessary at least. And this has been much discussed around a lot of problems. I think platforms. I think we need Martin Odegaard to find a bit of form from somewhere, and perhaps the best way we can get him to play well is just make sure he has a little bit of a rest before potentially having the game of his life. He has going to have to. He's going to be leading the side in Paris coming up. So I'd probably leave him out for this one. You can criticise me if you want to. That's what the comment section is there for, guys. But I don't see it being a real problem that Ethan Nwaneri gets a game here. I would think, being that Thomas Partey missed out on that suspension on the game on Tuesday, I suspect he comes into the side. I would imagine he would probably come in for Marino. Probably Marino. Rice probably plays because he does tend to play a lot, because we're going to have to find a balance somewhere of players that can rest and some that will just fit in anywhere. I think there'll be other changes to be made. Again, just wanting to be super careful with Saka and making sure he doesn't have any major effects. I possibly leave him out. He played 90 minutes, which was one encouraging thing that came out of the Paris Saint-Germain game. He played the full game, but again, I wouldn't want to. Although it's important to keep him sharp, I do want to have the balance of not working him too hard. If that makes sense, I'd probably. Who do I play instead of him then? See, part of me would like to say, and I don't think this is going to happen. And Nathan Butler, Oeje, hopefully I pronounced that right, is the young 22-year-old, of course. I wouldn't mind seeing him from the start, just to see what he's a little bit about. Personally, I do think Raheem Sterling's going to get another start, and to be fair, that didn't go so well the last game, did it? In fact, we're being honest, it's not really worked out too well. So, and I seriously, at this sort of stage of the game and where we are, I want to be looking at players who may, or well, more likely than not, be in the squad for next season. I mean, you remember our bench the other night, right? We had the likes of Henry Francis, Nawari, of course, Ismail Kabia, and Butler Oje that I already mentioned. I mean, there's quite a lot of young talent there, and I would imagine there wouldn't be a hope in hell of us signing Raheem Sterling on a permanent deal because let's be fair, I might have done a better job with the dodgy right knee. I'm not trying to be too harsh. I'm trying to be a bit light-hearted on this one tonight, but I'm sure you guys will understand what I mean. Let's cover a couple of the injury concerns. If I just switch over to their page on the Arsenal app, 3 players have been ruled out, although there may be a bit of a positive update as well on Kai Havertz. So I suppose this is the headliner, is really that Calafiori and Jorginho have been ruled out. We've missed Calafiori in the last 9, and Jorginho, of course, went off. Looked like a rib injury, didn't he, against the Bees? Havertz has been out. As we all know, when he got hurt in Dubai in the training camp. But it's explained that Jorginho's injury is more complicated than expected, and yeah, I can picture that. It looked an odd one when he went off the field, didn't it, against Brentford? Although it doesn't rule out the chances of him featuring in the second leg of the semi-final next week. Just mention, of course, that Kai Havertz, who had been ruled out for the season a while ago, saying if it goes the way it plans at the moment, there's a chance he could still get into the side before the end of the season. So, I mean, you all know I'm a big fan of it, and you can ridicule me as much as you like. I don't care. I'm beyond caring tonight. But I think that would be a great job. I mean, great boost. Marino has done a great job. It's only right I mentioned him at the moment. He did such a good job in Kai's absence from filling in. Don't think it was an ideal fit, but he did a great job. It's funny how people can turn on your own players. I feel like some fans, not naming anyone in particular, just felt if you browse through social media, certain players got a little bit of flack after Paris. So you might say some of it is justified, but let's just remember what a job Marino had done since I think it was February when Kai got hurt, and coming in on the first season of him being an Arsenal player, I felt filling in a position he ain't familiar with, done pretty good. I don't know if him being in the midfield, did it reflect on what Declan Rice and Ødegaard were doing the other night? I don't know. I actually think Paris actually forced us into a position where we didn't want to be, and maybe players didn't make the runs going forward, like Declan Rice, for example. But yeah, you have to have that confidence. I know I'm a bit all over the place. When we go over to when we go over to Paris in the week, you have to have that confidence. Having beaten Madrid at the Bernabeu last Champions League leg round, you know what I'm trying to say. It's very late in the evening. It's been a very long day. But yeah, that's kind of all the points that I wanted to make. You know, we're up against an opponent that have had moments themselves. They had a fighting draw, didn't they? Last match out, I think it was against Manchester United. They only conceded in the very last sort of kick of the game, if I remember. I believe they had a red card in that game. It's the striker whose name escapes me at the moment. I think it's Evan Nilsson. I'm just going to double check that, but I believe his red card got rescinded. Yeah, I think I am right. So I do believe he's available to play in the game. But yeah, it'll be an interesting game. It's tomorrow tea time, I believe, for the kickoff. I'm not going to be able to do a live watch along on it, but it's 5:30 kickoff time here in the UK. I'm sure we'll get some sort of match reaction up over the weekend. I'll also do a report myself for the Arsenal ladies' defeat at Villa Park. I'll go into some detail on that over the weekend as well. But yeah, I think that's just about all I want to say at the moment. Just enjoy your weekend, guys. Take care of yourselves. Big week coming up for the club this week. So let's fingers crossed. Let's start with a good result tomorrow at the Emirates. Come on, the Arsenal, and yeah, we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Oh, by the way, if you wanted to give us a like on the video, please subscribe to Gooner Gathering, and if you wanted to follow us, find us on Twitter or X at Gooner Gathering. You can find me at Gooner Lee Meads as well. All right. Until next time, everyone. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.